second. Hey gang, this is Mike with my Real Estate Dojo, and today I have a very important training that I want to show you guys to do a step-by-step comparison about marketing. Now, if you've been following me for the three and a half years of my journey on YouTube, my YouTube channel, you know I'm a big believer of marketing. And I've taken a very complex idea like real estate investing and narrow it down to three propellers, okay? And today what I'm going to be talking about is one of the propellers. So let's go quickly run over what the three propellers are, okay, of real estate investing. So the first one is lead gen, okay. The second one is conversion, and the third one is exit strategy. Okay, so basically the real estate business doesn't matter if you want to wholesale, you want to be a landlord, you want to fix and flip, it doesn't matter. This is what it comes down to. And if you're new and you're just getting started into the business, the REI clubs, the coaches, the gurus, YouTube channel, Facebook, they make it very confusing, and they talk about this idea and this idea before they talk about this idea. And if you follow those equations they teach, your odds of success are very slim because it all boils down to the first step. Okay, it's kind of like going to school. You can't go to second grade till you pass first grade. And the first step is lead generation. So you want to have success, you need to have lead generation. Doesn't matter if you're a realtor, you're an investor in any business. But I'm talking about today the realtor side of marketing. And so it comes down to three propellers: lead gen, conversion, and exit. Today we're going to talk about step number one. Now you guys know that I'm a high believer of lead generation before you do setting up your logo, setting up your website, getting your t-shirt printed, getting X, Y, and Z, and getting into debt, okay? Because if you can't generate leads, there's no reason to spend money and time going to step number 2 and step number 3. Now we got that scored away. Let's go ahead and pull the curtains back and get into the good stuff, guys, because I want to make sure you guys understand this. This is crucial. If you don't understand this, 3 steps, you're going to spend a lot of time and energy and not doing deals. Now, marketing comes down into 2 parts. That's it. There's only 2 types of marketing. You got free and you got paid. All right? Some of you, ladies and gentlemen, may not have the money, which is okay. This is a great thing about America. That's why I love being here. And that's why you should be glad to be here, okay? And now listen to the news telling you can't do X and Y. Because you can do free marketing, okay? Now, with free marketing, you're going to have to put time in, okay? So if you don't got no money, you got to put some time in, all right? So if you don't got no money, you don't got the time, then go ahead and exit out of this because this is not for you, all right? I just want to be honest with you. And some of the other people that don't have the time or they have money, then they could put the money in, right? And then they have to put less time in because they could use systems to generate lead generation for you because the very first step of successful business is lead gen. I don't care if you're an attorney, I don't care if you own a pizza shop, I don't care if you own a restaurant, Kung Fu, credit repair, you're an investor, it doesn't matter. Lead gen is the key, okay? So now let's do a comparison between side by side different types of marketing, free and paid, because I'm a high believer of free. I'm a refugee to America. I came here with nothing. After college, instead of getting a job, I decided to live in my car with $100 and turn into 3 businesses because I was able to use imagination and creativity. So I'm a high believer in free marketing, and so I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of these and do cost by cost analysis, okay? See which one works. All right, I hope I got enough lines in here. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is free. Let's say you're going to do free marketing like cold calling. And let's say you're going to do the free marketing, so you're going to have to put the time in there, and you're the one that's going to have to do the cold calling, okay? And you're not going to have success cold calling like what most of my students say. Oh, I cold call 20 people, 25 people, 30 people. It's not going to work like that, okay? If you want to do cold calling, you have to be able to hit 150 calls a day. Okay? At the very minimum, guys, okay? You got to make 150 calls a day, and you got to consider that, you know, even though it's free, you have to consider the cost of your own time. Like, what are you going to pay yourself once your business starts growing, okay? So there's a cost of your time. Your time is not for free. You may not have money, but doesn't mean your time is free. You haven't been able to monetize your time. So let's assume that you're going to pay yourself what the minimum wage is at least, okay? I don't know what the minimum wage is, but just to make the numbers easier, let's say $10 an hour. To call 150 people a day, it's going to take you a good 6 to 8 hours a day, okay? And, you know, and when you're first starting out and you're scared, you don't want to make the calls, you're not going to make that, okay? But you got to force yourself. How do I know? I had an army of VAs making cold calls for me, and the very minimum, they were making 150 calls a day, or they wouldn't have a job, okay? So if you're calling people 150 a day, it's probably going to take you 8 hours, if not more. But I'm just going to go on the lower side. At $10 an hour, minimum wage, you know, for that day, it'll cost you $80, $80 a day. All right, it costs you $80, and you're probably going to generate, you know, 1 to 3 leads a day. Okay. Now, if you're just starting out, you're going to be on the left side. If you're a pro, then you're going to be on +3. Okay. But for this scenario, let's just keep everything constant. And let me shoot straight with you. I am downgrading. I'm not, you know, glamorizing it or, you know, making it, you know, the glamorous. No, I'm looking at the most negative way and looking at it that way and analyzing it. Okay, the worst probability. So there's better equations. Like you get a lot more leads, and you know you may want to not pay yourself $10 an hour, just $3 an hour. I don't know. So see, but 1 to 3 leads you can get for $150. How do I know? I've been doing this. I had my moving company. We've been in the cold calling business for a very long time. If you can't get that, then you know after 1 month of doing this, then it's time to go somewhere else because you haven't spent the time to learn, or if you're learning, you're not, you know, improving your skills because you got to be able to get that. Virtual assistants from India get that. Okay, so. Going back to the story, cold calling will generate you 1 to 3 leads a day. If you pay yourself minimum wage, it'd be $80. You will have to call 150 people a day. It'll take you about at least 8 hours. That's one. So let's say if you were doing door knocking, that's free as well. You're not going to get quite as high at those numbers as cold calling, all right? But again, you would at least spend 8 hours, if not more. So the 8 hours is for sure. You got to put that 8 hours in. I mean, if you're going to have a job working for the fucking man, you're going to work 8 hours. So if you're going to have your own business, then you're going to, you know, if you're a full-timer, you got to at least work 8 hours, if not more, just to start it, especially if you don't want to spend any money. That's why we're talking about free, right? Paid is a different story. But if you don't got no money and you only want to work 8 hours, then there's something wrong. But again, you know, I'm just going with, you know, best possibility, okay? So door knocking, 8 hours, you know, you're going to generate 1 to 3 leads a day. And I'm assuming that, you know, you're targeting Pacific lists. Like you're targeting the evictions, or you're targeting the foreclosures, or you're targeting divorces, behind on payments. You're not just randomly picking the block and just hitting that area. Just, hey, do you want to sell your house for 60 cents on a dollar? Hey, do you want to do it? No, that's not going to work because these people haven't shown you any kind of motivation. I'm assuming you're door knocking on a very narrow, highly targeted, motivated, targeted seller. for you to get 1 to 3 leads and work 8 hours to generate 1 to 3 leads, okay? So, you know, you're going to work 8 hours, and again, you're going to pay yourself at least, you know, $80 plus some gas. Let's say, you know, for 8 hours of driving, it's going to cost you $30. But again, it's going to cost you more, but I'm just going to put 20 just to make it easy. So that's going to be $100. Now, this stuff for, you know, $100 divided into 1 or divided into 3 is not that bad. It's like $33 per lead when you can turn around and make $3,000, $20,000, depends on what strategy you're applying. So that's not bad at all for cost of a lead, okay? Because it's still free, but I want to make sure you realize that free still costs you time because you're not spending it on luxury. You're working, okay? So you got to put some kind of value to it, even at minimum wage, okay? So you might not have to pay that out of your pocket, but once you get the deal and you make the money, you got to go back and analyze it and put these numbers into it. So I'm doing it right now for you, okay? And I'm looking at the very, very negative. It's going to cost you more than $20 to drive around. It depends what kind of car you have. If you have like a Leaf or something, Tesla, then maybe. If you have a big truck and you're hitting up, you know, 30, 40 people and they live in all parts of your little metroplex and you're sitting in traffic and it's 8 hours, you got to get lunch, you're probably going to burn more. But again, I'm looking at the most negative aspect of it to give you the best idea, okay? So we talked about a couple of free stuff. All right? Now, let's talk about some paid stuff, okay? One of the stuff I like to do is, you know, direct mail. So I'm going to talk about that. All right. And so direct mail, you know, some of the costs associated with it is that you got to pay for the stamps, okay? So the stamps are like almost 49 cents. So they're like 49 cents per stamp. All right. And then you got to get the envelope. All right. You have to put the time in to stuff them. And you're going to need the material, the marketing asset, like the flyer. And usually when I'm going to spend all this fucking money, then I'm going to make my marketing asset look as professional as possible. I use like full color back and front, UV, you know. I mean, I do different stuff too, but I'm not going to just throw some junk in there because I'm spending so much money. You know, I want to, you know, have myself look totally different than anybody else. So, you know, you got the flyer cost. You know, all my flyers, you know, I'm going to be paying for UV, this and that, 25 cents front and back, and I'm going to capitalize on both. Maybe on the back, I do a co-op where I get with a broker or, you know, a insurance adjuster, and so that could decrease my costs. You know, join my IM mastermind to get great ideas like this to do co-op marketing, so you don't have to pay for any marketing, or you decrease your cost of marketing. Okay, so let's talk about the stuff first. You know, I'm not going to even mention that. The envelopes, they're probably going to cost you, you know. So anyways, once you do this, I'm not even going to put this stuff in there, okay? But you could easily say it's going to cost you, you know, $1.25 per envelope. Okay. Now some of you guys said, hey man, I can get the meter stuff for the mail. It's going to be less. Yes, but the open ratio of that is a lot less too. So I'm looking at it where I could get a bit better opening ratio. I'm looking at it where I want somebody to handwrite this shit for me instead of just me slabbing a fucking mailing label like everybody else. So I didn't even include any of that. If you include that stuff, it's going to go up. But on the rough end, okay, so 125, you know, here we're hitting 100 people, okay, calling. To get any kind of results, we got to at least do 1,000. Okay, mail-outs. And the results that we're going to get is, according to everybody's statistics, the opening rate is going to be anywhere between 2 to 3%, okay? So again, I'm going to put in here 1 to 3. All right, but if you do this $1,000 envelopes times $1.25, which this number should be a lot more, but I'm just bringing it down, you know, you're looking at $1,250, okay, for that day to send those out, okay? So for the flyer, see, for the free stuff, you see it's a lot cheaper. For that day is $80 if you did cold calling, okay? If you just paid yourself, okay? You didn't include the phone because you have a phone. Door knocking, you didn't have to rent a car or anything because you probably have a car, but you had to pay for the gas. So $80 for your time, $20 for the gas is $100. Okay, so you can see the free stuff is way cheaper because for $80 you're getting 1 to 3. Where when you get into paid direct mail, just 1,000, and 1,000 is not that much, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you're again getting 1 to 3. Okay, now I'm a high believer in direct mail, but if you just send out 1,000 mail to some blank people, let's say to a targeted list like foreclosure or expired, this costs a lot of money. You're not going to get a good return. I have a hack on that. Get on my website, My Real Estate Dojo. Look in it's called PLM mass mailing or something like that. I forgot the name of it, but check it out. It's called PLM, and I show you how to not to send out to this whole list, how to, filter it all the way down and just only send to the cream of the cream, and I show you how to do it in my other book. But let's continue with this story side-by-side comparison, okay? Now, let's go ahead and talk about Facebook, okay? Now, for Facebook marketing, it's basically technology, so you don't need like marketing assets that are hard like flyers you have to print out, envelopes, but you will need like a copywriter, or you could do it yourself, and you may need, a thumbnail with some design. You could do it yourself or outsource it, and you may need a video or, whatever you're selling, okay? So you're going to need some marketing assets, but they're not hard assets, but they can cost money, or you can do it yourself. But I'm assuming you're going to do it all for free. You're going to be the handyman, just like you were doing the free here, okay? But Facebook, even if you do it for free, like the copywriting, the thumbnails, you're going to still have to pay for their marketing. And let's say you're spending $20 a day, okay? And when I spend $20 a day, and I'm getting a relevance score on Facebook, which is like they judge it from 1 to 10. If you have a 1, then you pay the most amount for your advertisement. If your relevance score is a 10 or a 9, you pay the least. Like, for example, if my relevance score is a 9, I'm paying like roughly like 1 cent to 3 cents, okay, for my ads, because I have high relevance score because I just provide good content. So it costs me about 1 cent to 3 cents for my ads. For people to watch my ads, where other people are paying $2, $3, $5, etc. Okay, so it depends on your relevance. Okay, so with a high relevance score, okay, for $20, it serves to my targeted audience that I have set up, and it costs me about $20 to reach 103 people, roughly. Okay, so 103. So, but 103, I'm not going to get any leads. Okay, so I have to get at least to that level of at least that 1,000. Just like the mass mail out, to get some kind of response, okay? So $20 gets me 100. I need 5 times of that. So what does that come out to, guys? Let me see. $280. So for that day, $280. I got to spend a day, okay, to generate 1, 2, 3 leads of, hey, we buy houses. Now, if you're selling like some other kind of, like mugs or, T-shirts or something like $10, $20, then it's a different story. But if you want to, steal somebody's home in a sense, buy it for 60 cents on a dollar, get owner financing, well, it's a little bit harder to sell, guys. Okay, so, if you want to get 1 to 3 leads a day from Facebook, it costs you $280. It's way cheaper than a mail out, guys. A mail out is $1,280 to get 1 to 3 leads a day, okay? So Facebook is so cheap, and that's why people are on Facebook, YouTube saying, hey, you can make a lot of money on Amazon, you can make a lot of money on Shopify. If you're interested in any of that, holler at me, guys. I sold my book on Amazon, became on the top 20 list for a couple of days. We sold a lot of stuff on Shopify. So if you're interested in that stuff, holler at me, I can help you out. But the point I'm trying to make is, you can see the free is still a lot cheaper. You don't have to pay that right now, but whenever you get your money, you got to end up paying that, because you got to include that in the equation, because eventually you're going to have to hire people, or you got to pay for your time. Your time is not for free. Okay, so now let's go to, so this is going to be hitting 1,000 people, okay, per day. And here you're sending out 1,000 per day. In here, on the cold calling, you don't have to hit up 1,000 people because you're actually picking up the phone and talking to people, and you have a better chance of conversion. So as long as you hit, now for my company, when the VAs work, they minimum have to hit 150. They had to hit 300 to 150. Now the more you dial, the better it is, so understand that, okay? Now let's talk about flyers, all right? Like door hangers and flyers at people's apartments. With flyers, okay, let's assume that you're going to do it, okay? Now, I had crews of flyers, with vans, 4 or 5 people in a management, 2 or 3 teams going different parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth area for many, many years. So I'm very familiar with flyers, having crews, and they just work for my 3 companies. So I'm very expert in that, okay? Now, flyers, let's assume you're going to do it. You're not going to have a crew and all that stuff, okay, which makes it the easiest and the cheapest. If you're going to, again, work 8 hours, you're going to pay yourself minimum wage, to say $10 or something. That's $80, okay, for the day. But then you're going to have gas. You got to go drive around. So let's say you're going to spend that $100, okay? And with the flyers, I would say probably 150, because a good worker that's been doing flyers forever, they can do anywhere from 750 to 1,000 flyers in 8 hours. I'm talking about that they're working hard, okay? But you're probably not going to be in shape and all that stuff, and you never done it, and you're probably not going to get those numbers. But it's hard to find people that can hit the 750 to 1,000 every day in Texas heat or wherever you're at, okay? So consider that. But I'm assuming that you're going to do at least 750 to 1,000 to make the numbers equal, and you might have to work instead of 8, 9, 10, 11 hours. So that's why I raised this up. But to keep it all even, you're able to put out 1,000. Now, I used to have a lot of workers, because if they couldn't do the 750 to 1,000 flyers a day, they couldn't have a job. So this number is very, very possible. I had many crews doing it all over parts of town, okay? From my moving company, my real estate brokers, we buy houses, etc., okay? Flyers are very, very effective. Not that many people optimize on it. They are expensive, assuming, like, let's say, if you want to have a crew going and you have a van and you're going to get a manager, and then you're going to have 3 other guys in there, so assuming you pay each guy, the flyer guys $100 each, 3 guys $300. You pay your manager a little bit more, let's say $150, so that's $450. Then you got the gas and you got the flyers, so it starts adding up. But again, you got 4 guys now out there, passing out flyers. Each one's hitting 1,000. So for that day, you're hitting 4,000 flyers, okay, close to it, for $450. That's pretty good. You're going to get some returns on your money. Depends what business you're in. If you're in a pizza business, you're in a moving, you're going to get more return than if you say, hey, I want to buy your house 60 cents on a dollar. But understand that, okay? So flyers are good if you know an area that you want to buy, or you love to buy, or if you know it's been hidden, there's a lot of inventory, you could target those areas. So simply put, it's going to cost, if you did it yourself with the flyers, it's going to cost you right around $150. That'll include the gas, the flyer, to hit 1,000, okay? And you're going to probably generate 1 to 3 leads, probably on this side, unless they're targeted list, okay? And if you're going to hit a targeted list, then it would cost you a lot more, because it would take you a lot of time to drive around, okay? But assuming you just hit a subdivision, you're probably going to be on the lower end, because they're probably not going to be motivated. So out of 1,000, you may get 1 or 2 leads. And the lead is somebody just may call you to just ask questions. Doesn't mean they're going to go with you, sell you the home. They're just potential people that just raise their home. Now, I'm going to show you right now, pay attention, the secret recipe of way low advertisement, okay? Now, we talked about free. You're looking at $80 to $100 if you're doing cold calling and door hanging. If you're doing direct mail, you're looking at, $1.25 per unit. And if you're sending at 1,000, you're looking at 1,212, almost $1,300. If you're doing Facebook, it's way cheaper than the mail outs, and you're looking at 280. And if you do flyers, which is very cheaper than, mail outs, etc. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do that's probably going to go a lot higher, okay? But I have a secret, and I'm going to share it with you right now, guys, okay? How to get 1 to 3 leads, if not more, for just $4 a day, guys, okay? So I hope you're ready. So if you look at all these numbers, these are all per day, how much you would have to get. You would have to send out 1,000 mail outs. You have to put out 1,000 impressions on Facebook, or you have to do 1,000 door hangers. Now, I have a way where you can get 1 to 3 leads a day, if not more, for just $4 a day. Okay. Now, if I showed you that, would you just jump on there like, hey, let me get that? Because you got to be fucking insane not to say that. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to escape the rat race, if you want to take your business to the next level and scale it up, you got to see that, dude, the one that you got to do yourself is costing you more money than this one. Now, what is the secret, okay? The secret is what I've been preaching to you guys for a while now. It's called My VA Exponential. Virtual assistants, guys. Hiring college-educated people around the globe, and I show you where to hire them, where to fire them, how to set up systems, how to use my VA filtering system to get the cream of the cream, you know, how to set up bonuses, what kind of paperwork you need, all that stuff, and for you to get $4 a day. And this $4 a day will be on the 3+ side very easily, because you can get people to work for you across the sea because of the money exchange, because our dollar has so much value compared to, let's say, India money or Pakistani money or the Philippine money, okay? Because of the currency wars per se, that we can get people over there to work for us. They're super smart for so much less money, which is $4 a day. And if somebody's sitting in front of the fucking phone for 8 hours a day and making 150 to 300 calls for you, they will get this lead for you just like you were doing it. But now you don't have to be there. You could go do something else, okay? Maybe you could focus on the direct mail. Maybe you could focus on learning how to do Facebook. Maybe you could focus on the flyers. See, because you got to be a moron not to realize that $4 a day, having a smart person that speaks English, has sales experience, and I show you how to get all these people, making cold calls for you, or getting it on Craigslist or Backpages or your master lead sheet and sending text messages, or going up there and collecting data for you, like on a county clerk's office, like the evictions or the divorces or the foreclosures, or going to Craigslist and gathering information from Backpages or Craigslist if people are trying to sell their homes like FSBOs, so you could reach out to them through the direct marketing or through cold calling, okay? Because you can hire a VA and a VA, and they can do all kinds of marketing for you for $4 a day. Okay, it's a no-brainer, guys. And right now, I have my book. It's $1,500. It's 7 hours of advanced training. You know, I've been doing VA since 1999, 2000, 2001, when dial-up AOL was in place, where, you know, we had net zero, okay? So I know a lot about this stuff, and I haven't shared it with anybody because I've been using it for my own businesses. Now I don't have my businesses anymore. I'm pursuing to change your life, so I want to share it with you. If you just buy one thing from me, if you just buy this one book and you take action, it's going to change your life, because it's what I call an exponential lever, okay? Why do you think Uber's making so much money? Why do you think Airbnb is making so much money? Because they're using exponential levers, okay? They're not using 1 plus 1. They're not using, you know, 1 times 1. They're not using those. They're using x to the power 10, x to the power 2, x to the power whatever, okay? They're using exponential levers. And just the other day, I did a video for you guys what an exponential lever looked like. If you use what's taught in schools or colleges, what other people are talking about, then you're probably going to do like 10 plus 10 equals 20, okay? And if you did a creative way, which, you know, the people that go become entrepreneurs and they go create a, you know, business plan and they go borrow money and get in debt, the best they can get is 10 times 10, and that's 100. Okay, which is way better than a job, right? You know, a job, you got to put your time in. This time you magnify. But what I'm talking about is 10 to the power of 10, and the number in this sucker is just so humongous. I mean, does that make sense? And that's what the VAs do, because if you look on here, see, this is $4. Who can't afford a $4 fucking worker? Smart worker. They can be your assistant. They can be your secretary. They can be your time setter. They can be your booking confirmation. They could be your cold calling. They could be your data extractor. They could be your text marketer guy. They can be anything you want, and your brain allows you to envision. Some of you guys don't realize this, and that's why I'm trying to help you realize this. What do you think Apple is doing? What do you think IBM's doing? What do you think AT&T? I mean, all these guys are outsourcing, right? They're making all this fucking money. It's very powerful. Why do you think they're becoming the biggest power? You know, why can't you and me do the same thing? And I just showed you how to do it without hiring the big data centers. Now, some of you guys say, hey, well, I could hire a call center to do this or a data center to do that in India. But yeah, but you're not going to get the $4 a day. If you go on, let's say, Freelancer or Upwork, you're not going to get the $4 a day worker, okay? And you're going to get workers that have their mindset have shifted from the E quadrant to the S quadrant, and now they're just thinking about just all they want to do is just make as much money as possible, take as many clients as possible, and they're going to tell you, promise you the world, right, and not fulfill. How do I know, guys? Because for such a long time, that's what happened to me. That's why I came up with this fucking book, because for my moving company, at any time, I would have 22 to 30 VAs just for my moving company. What would they do? They would take all the incoming calls. They would book the customers. They would give quotes. They would do follow-ups. They would do claims. They would help set up appointments with movers. They would order products like shrink wrap, like dollies. They would take care of everything. Whatever you want them to do. Okay? And I show you in my book all the different things you could have them do in your business. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor, you're an investor, you own a moving company, you own a credit repair business. It does not, you're an attorney. I challenge you, if you're an attorney, buy this thing and use it. You will save thousands of dollars from people calling your phone. Now, if you're a business owner and you don't pick up your fucking phone, then you're missing a lot of business, dude. Okay? And if you're a business owner and you don't have a live chat on your website to answer people's questions, then you're missing business, unless you purposely do that because you're trying to filter out the deadbeats. But most businesses, you can't afford to do that, okay? Very selective businesses, okay? So what am I saying? Go onto my website, myrealestatedojo.com. I am having a sale right now. There's only 42 hours left, okay? This book is $1,500. You can download it right now for $325. Just look at all the reviews. It's a knockout. It's a life changer. It's what I call the exponential lever. Okay, it's like an Uber. It's like an Airbnb. Don't miss out. Okay, guys, don't miss out. The big corporations are already fucking doing it. I'm the only guy that's been doing it since 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, all the way. I started with programming. Okay, and outsourced when IT guys were making $75,000, $100,000 a year with just a basic science degree, technology degree. Now they're not, it's not as good as anymore. But I was outsourcing, getting people to work for a couple of bucks a day. And I'm showing you how to do it in my book. It's $325. It's only 48 hours left. Once it sells out, I'm not going to bring it down. Now, why did I bring the price down? There was one gentleman that found the hack, and he was able to download it for $325. And I don't want to say his name, and that was my mistake, not his, okay? And now I just feel like other people had asked me for it, and I told them no, because I run a fair business. Since he found the hack to be able to get it for $325, I felt like I should give it to other people that were interested as well, because it's just not fair for me to hook that dude up. And I didn't hook him up. He just found a way to do it because that was my mistake, okay? But my mistake allowed him to get it, so I'm allowing other people to get it. But once this goes off, I'm not going to sell it for that price anymore. It's $1,500. It's advanced training. You don't have to buy this book and buy other stuff. I give you exactly what I've used, like my contracts, like my manuals, like where do I hire people, my automation system, my filtering system, so you can find the cream of the cream. And it's for $325. It's not going to last, and I'm not going to let you down. I'm not a one-hit wonder. I want to change your life, and I'm giving you a gift. Okay, it took me 14, 15, 16, 17 years to come up with it. Giving it to you for $325. It's going to change it. If you're an attorney, if you're a doctor, get it. I promise it's going to change your fucking business. Your overhead is going to shrink up. If you own a business, you own $1 million business, and you want to make more profits, if you learn how to use virtual assistants, it's going to blow you away. You're in a car business, you're anything like that, and you have salespeople. You can get an army of fucking salespeople that are hungry in third world countries. They want to feed their family. They speak fucking English. They're willing to stay up really late at night to work for your fucking company, unlike the pool we have in the U.S., guys. All right? If you want that, get my book, $325. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer it for you. Absolutely. Uh, now, that's a very, very good question, okay? It depends where you are in your business. You can determine how much automation you want. Like if you're just starting out, then you want them to take all the hard punches. Like, okay, what is the hard punches? Calling all these people and them saying no, 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 and let them take the hard punches, okay? And then when somebody's nice or motivated, then I would have my VA ask them my seller questionnaire form, which you can download right from my website, and it's going to talk to the seller and gauge their motivation, because I have all this information that lets me know if they're willing to sell their house at 60 cents on a dollar, or if they're willing to do owner financing without ever asking them like that, okay? Once the VA fills out my seller phone script, then they can send it to you. And now you're only talking to the ones that are motivated. So you're not there taking all the punches, sitting there for 8 hours and doing that, okay? Now, if the way I did it is, instead of, once the seller came in, instead of me talking to it, I would have another VA talk to these motivated sellers and even filter it down. So it all depends on your situation. I would recommend having the second VA, but at that time I owned 3 businesses, so I wasn't like trying to let me do this, you know. So I wanted to have the most cream of the cream sellers. So when I talked to them, I could give them an offer over the phone, and they would accept it. I wouldn't even have to drive the property. So I got a sign. Now, this is not the best way to do it, because you're cutting, you're filtering out. But again, I own 3 businesses. I wasn't a wholesaler. I was just buying and hold guy. I was happy just buying a couple of properties a year every 6 months. So, and I was looking for the cream of the cream. So it didn't, for me, I had 2 filtering systems. I had this guy giving all these people saying no, tell him to go fuck himself. Only once he found a motivated one, he would fill out a seller phone script 100%. By looking at the seller phone script, we would know if this seller is motivated and what ways we can structure the deal because of the questionnaires that we have in there. Then I would have my other VA give him a call and verify that information, kind of give him a soft offer. If you don't know what a soft offer is, get on my website. I have my no fluff negotiation. We give him the soft offer, and if the guy's okay with the soft offer, then I would go back and now I would give them a call and give them the hard offers, the actual numbers, okay? Which I would already know the guy would want it because I have 2 levels of filtering now, okay? Now, for you, if you want to make it an automation, you don't have to go all the way to this automation. You could even add another filtering system where they could give the offer and get the deal for you, okay? But I didn't want that because I want to look at the deal and I want to make sure it was the right deal for me. But if I would recommend, if you want automation, then you just do the level 1, and they're doing all the cold calling. Like, for example, they get on the FSBO's websites and they cold call. Or they get on Craigslist on the rental section and they call, okay? And after they find one motivated seller, they fill out the seller's phone script, or what I call the seller fact sheet. It's the same exact thing. Then they will give it to you, and you'll look at it, and before you give them a call, you have all the information you ever would need. So you don't have to ask the seller anymore that kind of information, okay? Or that VA can set up the appointment for you. Once you look at it, you tell them set up the appointment, and then you can go to the house, or you can just try to talk to them on the phone and give them the offer. But that's one great way to automate it with you still being involved if you're small, okay? But if you got 5 businesses or 3 businesses, or you don't care, then you could just filter it. There's still people that are going to come through no matter how many filtering systems you have. But those are just going to be the cream. Sure, the numbers will get less and less, but that's what you're setting up filterings for. Anything else? Awesome, guys. If you have any questions about virtual assistants, leave a comment on YouTube, leave a comment on Facebook. I'll get back with you. Don't forget to join my I Am Mastermind, guys. Right now, I'm going to be taking off very soon, the promotion. We're going to be meeting on a weekly basis. Go check it out on my website. And don't forget to get my VA exponential book, guys. VA X to the 2. It's going to change your life. It's a exponential lever. And I guarantee you, if you take action, it's going to change your life. I mean, you saw the numbers. $4 a day. I mean, even if you fell for one fucking month, how much are you out? 120 bucks, dude. Where if you do postcards or letters, you were out 1,250 bucks. So think about that. Even if you don't know what to do with the VA, if you spend 3 months with the VA, so that's almost 300 bucks, right? Versus 1,200 bucks mail outs. So how long is your learning curve? 3 months? I mean, do you think you can learn in a month? I mean, 4 weeks? I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, see, so even if you fuck up the first month, the second month, you have spent so much less with the postcards or any other marketing medias out there. Hustle and bustle. Don't take no for answer. See you again.